Hi everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today we are going to give you a Crooked Row recipe. It has been storming like cats and dogs here, and we have really not been able to get out into the garden because of all of the rain. We are currently fighting blight and different things in the garden, and this rain is not helping, although who does not love a day off? Like, there's nothing you can do about it. God just gave us our day off. So I thought I would run out and get we are loaded with cucumbers. I'm sure you are too. And there is a point when you have done loads and loads of pickles and everything we know to do with relishes and different things with cucumbers, and of course eating them like crazy in salads and in ranch dip and just with salt. But there are lots of recipes where we can utilize our garden goodies. So let's go clip off some cucumbers and then come back to the kitchen so that I can show you how to make a great Asian cucumber salad. Let's go. Okay, so as you can see, we are fighting disease out here, but they are still giving us huge cucumbers. Look at that. That is ginormous. So we're gonna clip, look down here. I mean, it's like a bat. It's huge. So we're gonna go through and clip these and then go back to the kitchen. Okay, we are back in the house with our cucumbers, and the very first thing that I would like to do is weigh these. Now, I want you to see how big that is. That literally is like a baton. These are Soyalong cucumbers. These are Japanese cucumbers. These are probably the best tasting cucumbers I've ever tasted in my life. These are slicers, and I have pickling cucumbers too. I think it's Boston pickling that we planted outside, but these are slicers, and I feel like ones like these are perfect for this recipe. I don't know if you like sushi, but we love sushi in our house. And at the sushi restaurant, they have this seaweed salad that we absolutely love. But I have never actually been able to locate the seaweed to make the seaweed salad. So we are trying to come up with versions that are extremely similar to seaweed salad, but not minus the seaweed, of course. So I'm just going to zero out my scale, and then I'm going to place all of these cucumbers back in because I need to get a good reading on how many we harvested. We've already harvested, I mean, you saw how badly damaged and diseased those cucumbers are, and we still have harvested like 10-15 pounds of cucumbers. So you can even be struggling with a plant and they will still produce for you. So it looks like this harvest was 8.14 pounds. Yay! So I keep track of how much we harvest, so that at the end of the season we can, you know, at least make sure that we're it's worth it. So I'm gonna mark that down and then we're gonna get started on the recipe. Okay, I'm gonna start off by slicing these very, very thin. I just cut that great big baton-like one down to size so it was easier to handle. And then I got out my mandolin. You can also just use a regular knife, but you wanna slice these. I like to slice them thin so that the flavors penetrate when it marinates in the sauce that we're going to do. So let me see how this is. That is perfect for me. If you like big, thick, crunchy cucumbers, please feel free to do them the size that you like. I just feel that this works with the marinade a little better. Let me show you again. Okay. Okay, next up, we have done 5 cups of sliced cucumbers, and I'm gonna put them in my broken down colander. If you need more for your crew, which I feel like this, if you like cucumbers, this could feed like 5 or 6 people. And you will want about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. And the reason why there's a differentiation is if you sliced them really, really thin, you might need to add just a little tiny bit more, but you also don't want your cucumbers to taste salted. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it out over the cucumbers. That's half a teaspoon for 5 cups. And then I'm going to allow them to sit in this colander, the colander within a bowl, so that it can release some of its water. And the reason why you want to do this is so that it will uptake the marinade. See, if this wasn't broken, it would sit in here perfectly. Okay, and then I'm going to set that aside while I gather my ingredients. Okay, I just grabbed a canning jar and I'm just going to measure out each of the ingredients. And again, this is for 5 cups of cucumbers. This is pure sesame oil. Half of a tablespoon. And don't use like normal sesame oil. You want the toasted sesame oil. And then 3/4 of a teaspoon of soy sauce. And then I'll do about half of that. Okay. And then 1 tablespoon of sugar. 1 tablespoon of sugar. 3/4 of a tablespoon of rice vinegar. This is white wine vinegar. You can interchange those. Now, a lot of people will put in chili oil. I don't usually carry chili oil with me, but I do have this chili garlic sauce, which I love. and then a hot sriracha chili sauce. So you can use whichever you like. I like this one for this recipe because it has garlic in it, and you put garlic in this anyway, so. One tablespoon. We just harvested our garlic and it is still actually in the curing phase, but that does not mean that you can't use it. So these garlic cloves are so tightly held together, which is a great thing. That's when you know you have super fresh garlic. Oh, it just has such a strong smell to it. It's great. That's what you want from your garlic. Okay, now I am going to put this on a microplane, or some people call it a zester. If you don't have this, you can just dice it super, super tiny. You want about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. If you use the garlic chili paste like I did, you don't have to use that much, but we love garlic. But to be honest, these are so fresh. They're probably going to be a little bit hot, and because this is raw, I'm not going to add as much as I normally would. So that one garlic clove was about a half a teaspoon. Oh, it smells so good. I'm gonna do another one. Look at these gorgeous cloves. And I'm not gonna smash this with my knife to get the peel off, because it's way too hard to run it across that microplane if I do that. If you don't have fresh garlic, you could also use granulated garlic, but I would give it a while before I ate it, because granulated garlic is so concentrated. It would be a little hot, I think. So this is a good teaspoon of microplaned garlic. And then if you don't like ginger, that is quite all right, but I get my ginger and I put it in a Ziploc and I freeze them, because we don't grow ginger here, although I'd like to try. And with the peel and everything on, I microplane it. Oh, it smells so heavenly. And it's much easier to microplane this if you have it frozen. It becomes a wet mess otherwise, when it's just raw and not frozen. Okay, let's see how much that is. That is about, if I could read it, half a tablespoon. Perfect. So now that all the ingredients are in to the canning jar, I'm just gonna put a lid on it and shake a. Oh, smells heavenly. Okay, now to the cucumbers. Go ahead and taste your cucumbers. If they're too salty to you, you can give them a quick rinse, but you'll just want to be careful not to saturate them in water, because we've gone through this whole process so that we don't have water in them. And let me show you, just from gathering our ingredients, at how much water there is. That's probably 3/4 of a cup. And empty my cucumbers out. And just pour this over. If you've cut these super thin, you can enjoy this right away. If it has any kind of thickness to it, or you'd really like to marinate it, you'll just mix this up. Oh, it smells so heavenly. So the very last thing I'm gonna do, don't plant green onions if you plant onions. So all of your onions can be utilized, the green tops can be utilized through the whole growing season. And as long as you leave about 6 inches left on the bulb, you can utilize the rest. And let me tell you, these puppies grow like crazy. So there's no point in buying them from the grocery store when you can just get them from your garden. And I find that my green onions here, because they're fresh, are so much more potent than what I can get at the store. So I've got about 1/2 of a cup of green onions that I'll add. Now there are people who will garnish this with sesame seeds, and I love that. I just don't have any. And you could also, if you don't have green onions, you can also put in red onions. Red onions would be beautiful in this. I would just let them marinate in the sauce a little longer. They could be kind of hot. But if you're gonna serve this right away, I would definitely put something like a sweet onion in it. And then, that is delicious. Okay, so that was so easy. That was like maybe 20 minutes. So that is the perfect summer side dish, first of all. I do want to show you, like, we pulled, and I know these are fruits, but it's just too cute. We pulled some of the little cucumber flowers to go ahead and garnish the plate with it. I love stuff like that. But I also wanted to try it. If you try it and you want a little more of one of the ingredients, or you might want to, you know, spice it up a different way or sweeten it. I mean, I know people that sweeten it with maple syrup. I don't care for the maple taste in this. It's so yummy. If you feel like you need a little more like of the sesame flavor to it too, please feel free. But I'm just gonna go ahead and plate this, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and plate this. Okay, the plate is done. It looks absolutely beautiful. I just spilled juice all over the floor. You can put it in a bowl with plastic wrap over it. The wonderful thing about this recipe is that I feel like most sides are either cheese or mayonnaise. And we know that mayonnaise based. And we know that mayonnaise really does not do well in the sun at all. So if you're having graduation parties, or you're at the beach, or you went camping, or just whatever, you can put these in plastic storage containers or in Ziploc bags and have no fear of any kind of botulism or bacteria, because this is all just vinegars and oils and things. So it is extremely safe for warm weather, and it is absolutely delicious. And if you've ever had seaweed salad, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We tweak this a little bit. When my kids were little, they liked a little more sugar in it. As they've gotten older, I back off the sugar, and we make it a little spicier. But again, these are your own recipes. You end up giving all your cucumbers away to neighbors after you've pickled, because you start not finding things to do with your cucumbers. And my goal with the recipes this year is that I am showing you how to utilize all of these things. I have lots of recipes that either utilize cucumbers or zucchinis and these things that after we have enough put away, we just don't know what to do with. But we definitely, especially since groceries are so high right now, I want to try to help people utilize what we have. So even if you don't have them, go to a farmer's market and get some fresh cucumbers, or go to the store. My local Kroger's always has really good cucumbers. I don't know why. Now we grow these, so that's what I use today. And remember, if we can utilize our produce that we're all growing to be more efficient, then anybody can. Thanks. Bye.